machines too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm upgrading my systems. I'm trying to get a 3900 so I can upgrade my crypto mining on one of my PCs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm actually a fan of Firefox because I used to work for Netscape, and so
Ooh,
I
I
like.
remember Netscape.
Yeah, I
I
like.
used to do some software for we used to use it for basis of our first internet program we wrote,
Yeah, I like.
system we
I
built.
like the old Mozilla engine, and I mean, virtually the Mozilla engine is unchanged since what 94, 95, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
And yeah, I like Firefox. I think my favorite thing, we used to do this back in the old days with Chrome, that if you had, more money than sense, so you had a whole ton of RAM in your computer, right? Well,
Yeah,
in
a whole
Netscape,
640K.
yeah, right, yeah. In Netscape, you could go into the settings and you could set a RAM disk as your cache. And so
Yeah,
your
yeah.
web browser was uber fast. And
Yeah, we
then
did that.
they got rid of that feature like later with like Netscape Communicator 2, I want to say like 2.1 or something like that. They got rid of that feature. I don't know if that's, I haven't looked to see if that's still in Firefox, but that would be cool if it was. I mean, I've got like a 1.2 gig internet connection. I don't really need to do that. But
Yeah, today. I just replaced my routers. My router with my 100 megabyte router with a gigabyte. Man, it's
yeah,
much nicer.
yeah, we've got the gigabyte router, and then we've got it's like a 1.2 gigabyte downstream, and I think I'm at like 60 gigs up. So yeah, my internet connection's blazing fast.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's faster than really what I require. But with the streaming and whatnot, the extra fast connection is nice, and it sure is nice if you want to download a movie or something, and it's like, oh well, this Blu-ray movie will be done in like 3 minutes. Hold on,
Sardis said he was going to be
Yeah.
15 minutes later, so
Yeah, he says he's stuck in the rain. So
Hey, I had one question too.
shoot.
For my auto pistols, I wanted to buy laser sights for each of them. Is that going to be okay? I can get that, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
what a wimp.
You guys are gonna.
I'm sorry. I do competitive pistol shooting, so a laser sight.
Yeah, it's not going to be too far into the future here. You guys are going to have access to a whole bunch of stuff that if you want to buy it, you can. Probably not battle dress, but
well, I got a fabrication chamber. I mean, I bought 3 liters worth of a fabrication chamber, so I mean that allows us to make all. I mean, really, it's imagination's the limit if you think about it.
that's true. That is true.
If you notice, Bothesis and I rolled some numbers earlier, so we get 7 nuke grenades.
No. I'm going to say no to that. Sorry.
You look to the right of number 6 and number 2 across the side of the river. Do you see some little blue circles?
I do.
I was messing around with this draw shapes and circles and things, and I accidentally put a bunch of them there.
Oh, no.
Can you get rid of them?
I can. There you go. Yeah, sometimes. So here's one of my bitchy complaints about Roll20. Sometimes you draw a shape like that, and then you're like, okay, well, I don't need it anymore. This happens a lot for D&D because they'll be like, oh, well, I'm gonna cast, plant growth or whatever, and it's like, okay, well, that's a 20-foot square, and they'll draw a 20-foot square, and then it expires or they drop concentration on it, and you're like, okay, well, we don't need this square, sucking up map space and confusing everybody. And then you can't click on it.
Yeah.
And there's been times where, I mean, it's either really hard to click on it or the the software errors out, and you literally cannot click on it. And the only way to do it is to essentially close your browser, reopen, go back in, and try again. And some days that works, and other days it's like, oh, well, we'll just have to delete it next week, and hopefully they get their shit together. But yeah, typical Roll20 problem. I don't know. Like I said, rather than continuing to always post stuff about all this new crap that you're going to do, how about you fix the shit that's already broken? That would be
Yeah.
that
I
would
say
be
the same.
tits.
You ever played Eve?
Oh yeah. Oh god, yes.
It's full of bugs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, or as we like to call it, spreadsheet simulator.
Yeah, I had to stop playing it.
Did I ever get enough of my venom sac that I could harvest some venom?
Yes, I believe you were able to harvest 2 doses.
Okay. So 2, and I haven't really guinea pigged this yet, so.
Well, we'll find somebody for you to.
Oh, someone's gonna get it.
That's right. Someone's gonna be a test victim.
Someone's gonna get it. If we let somebody get in our care and like a prisoner or something, and I will dose them and monitor the results. It'll be great.
Okay.
So yeah, the quick rundown was that if you were going to do some shopping, I know that some people were still kind of looking over what they wanted to get. Anything up to tech level 14, but not so much military equipment, so no combat armor or higher. Obviously no battle dress, probably no plasma cannons. Fusion guns probably are right out. But you could probably buy Gauss weaponry and lower. So
I purchased a boarding vac suit improved.
That's a good idea. Yeah, boarding vac suit is actually, for civilians, boarding vac suit is one of the better ones. Boarding vac suit or hostile environment vac suit.
Yeah.
Although whenever I look at a picture of hostile environment vac suit, I'm like, the DM in me automatically says, oh, there's got to be a minus to your dexterity checks with that. But it doesn't say anything about it, in the book. But I'm like, that just looking at that, you look like you're walking around in the Stay Puft Marshmallow suit. Probably going to have a hard time with that. I mean, it's my game. I suppose I could make it anything I want, right?
You could.
So JT will like this. So the book that I'm currently writing, I'm doing an atlas for the mountain range in my campaign setting, and that's what I've been staring at for the blank pages for the past week. But anyways, I finally figured out how I wanted to start, and I decided I was going to start on, basic geography and weather patterns, and that led me down the rabbit hole of the old AD&D First Edition Wilderness Survival Guide. I know you love that book.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've been extrapolating information from that and putting it into Old School Essentials, basically into a more usable format, and doing things like personal temperature and how different clothing affects your personal temperature, raises or lowers it according to the environmental temperature, et cetera, damage effects due to temperature, penalties due to temperature, wind velocity penalties, things of that nature. So yeah, that's been the last 2 days of going through and creating all those charts, and then I came up with a whole new equipment. Because if you notice in the Old School Essentials, the equipment is very basic. Like it's enough to get you into the game, and that's about it. And so I put in, we got to have cold equipment. We've got to have very cold weather clothing. Heavy cloaks, fur-lined boots. The whole bit. And so I went through and created a whole list. So that's come along swimmingly. And then now I finished the equipment section. I'm like, okay, now what? I guess I should probably start detailing some areas and some monsters. I have this new monster in mind called a Grundler. I don't know what a Grundler is or what it looks like, but I really like the name, and it sounds bad. So I'm gonna have to stat that out. It's either a monster or really bad gas pains, one or the other one.
I
Wow.
like it.
We lost
Did we lose JT?
George.
Yeah, 1 second. Am I still in? Can you guys still hear me in Skype?
I can hear you.
Yes. Yeah.
No, we cannot hear you in Skype at all.
Yeah.
'Cause I
That's
can't
great.
hear you. Yeah.
You want to give me just a couple minutes here? I got to restart my computer.
Yeah, no problem.
No, you need to be performing now.
Yeah.
We're-
Okay.
We're giving Will a few
Restarting.
minutes.
1 second.
No problem.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for JT, I'll go ahead and bring us in. Welcome to the Deepnight Revelation. We'll be picking up where we left off last week. These guys are at point XF 1402, which is a brown dwarf out in the middle of the Great Rift. Basically, it on the map it just looks like a navigational point. It's essentially a blank square, or a blank hex. But these guys know that there is actually a small research station there. There is a brown dwarf, and orbiting this brown dwarf is a little less than crappy planet. It's called DKB1 Alpha, or just Alpha. The brown dwarf, of course, is DKB1 primary, and Alpha has a thin atmosphere. It's good enough to breathe, although only if you are acclimatized. And of course, if you know you're going there, then they can adjust the atmo in your ship during the week of jump and slowly suffocate yourselves until you're comfortable suffocating on the planet. It is a constant twilight here, and there's minor amounts of plant growth, some insects. That's about the extent of it. And there was a research station here previously that found these weird cave carvings on the rock faces. And it made one of these cave drawings, after viewing them for a while, made one of the lead researchers there go bibbledy. And she started ranting and raving and being a lunatic. But there seemed to be a method to her madness. She was describing these horrific dreams that she was receiving after having viewed these etchings, and was referring to she was referring to a point deep, deep, deep out in space that there is something out there that is coming, some kind of consciousness. And they wrote down, what they could, and they said, yeah, sure. And they nodded and smiled. And then she ended up dying. And so they have all of her stuff in recordings. And that's the last we heard of it until now. So we'll find out how much further you get. But when you guys landed at DKB1 Alpha, this research station, there's nobody here. You were looking for Rift Hauler 5A7. You landed in 4A4. You found Rift 5A7. It was sitting on the tarmac, and you found, due to Bocephus's life detection ability, that there was somebody aboard, and her name is Tass Engren, and through some interesting use of tablets and data pads and tapping on the windows, you were able to communicate with Tass, and she told you that the captain came to the ship. She was on board the ship. There was a party, because they don't see people very often. There was a party, and she left the party early to make sure that there was some, some work to be done on the ship. And he left the party, came to the ship, and said that he's locking it down, and for her to stay put, that it was for her safety. And then he promptly took an air raft and took off and just blitzed on out. She saw another air raft leave, and it headed up towards the volcano. And you know that when you came in, you saw that there was an observatory up in the crater of this volcano. So it's assumed that the aircraft went there. I mean, because there's literally nowhere else to go on the planet. And there was a third vehicle that left, a ATV, and you know this because you can see the tracks in the loose dirt of the base. And so that's where we left off last week. Before we get into it, I'd like to thank one of the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. And tonight we would like to thank the Speechless Bard. Speechless Bard makes beautiful leather products for your tabletop role-playing games, such as leather covers for your core rule books. She has a dice mat that when you roll it up, it looks like a spell scroll. She makes dice bracelets that come in all manner of customizable options. If you like to show off your geeky side outside of gaming, just strap one of those to your wrist. She has a really cool thing called the Spell Compendium that doubles as a card deck holder and a dice tray with a magnetic spell tracker in it. She just does amazing work. All of her customization is done by hand. She's an amazingly talented artist. If you are going to order from Speechless Bard, keep in mind that if you're in the U.S., you want to give yourself a little bit of extra time and be patient. She is over in the U.K., so it can take a little bit for it to cross the pond. If you are a fan of our Deepnight Revelation campaign, we do have a website via Obsidian Portal, and that is in the description down below. And it has been updated. There is a new article, and it deals with the situation going on in the island subsector and the tense political maneuverings between the Imperium and New Bayern. There have been some accusations bandied about, and there's some the New Bayernians. They are. The people from New Bayern are a little bit butthurt about it. So, the Third Imperium has accused them of sanctioned murder of Imperial citizens, and they're a little upset about it. I mean, it's true, but whatever. Nobody really knows what the truth is, right? The truth is nebulous. So yeah, definitely check that out. If you like the content, please go to the front page and give us a thumbs up, and we hope you enjoy. All right, so you guys have, I mean, aside from talking to Tess in Rift Hauler 5A7, you guys haven't really gone too much further than that.
We've refueled our ship. I think that's about it.
Yeah, you're plugged.
Yeah,
well, you haven't refueled. You're plugged in.
We're plugged in to refuel.
Yeah, you're plugged in, and the refueling is ongoing. It will take quite some time.
Well, Thesis detected some strange, unfamiliar but unknown beings.
Well, yeah, his life detection has picked up a. He only detected the one life form, and that was Tess. Within his range, of course, but he's got this like little tingling at the back of his head that there's something else that feels familiar.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and suggest that we switch to our antifungal protocols.
Yeah. This is where I regret not buying a flamethrower.
I'm actually going to say that to start. I'm like, let's go to the ship now and decontaminate.
Yep.
And get into
Load up
some
on
vac suits.
Load up on cans of Lotramil and
Yeah, we really should have. I should have packed a flamethrower.
Well, we're learning, and by the time,
one?
well, not now.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I need to buy a case of grenades.
But if when we start spending a lot of time in space, if y'all want me to try to build us a flamethrower, I do have a fabrication chamber, and yeah,
I can metagame and tell you guys that at some point in the near future you'll get them for free.
Okay.
yeah, because I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna basically 3D print them. You know,
I'm
they'll be
putting on
better
my
than
boarding.
what-
I put on my boarding vac suit and got my blade and my auto pistol and my shotgun.
Yeah, where we left off, pretty much all of you were loading up. I think you were all suiting up in vac suits.
I think the two of us might be cycling into the airlock and going through decontamination, but that's basically we're getting ready to change after we're certain that we're not carrying anything. Break out the medical scanners and start scanning ourselves.
So,
That's right.
so your medical scanners don't pick up. I mean, you know what to look for. Your medical scanners don't pick up anything on you. You're not contaminated in any way.
All right, good.
You know, recap. We know that. I mean, a normal decon. If you remember to stay, and it takes like an hour to cycle. But if you remember to stay in the airlock and you run through the decontamination process, part of that is UV light. And UV light will kill this thing. Now, one of the ideas that may pop into your head is like, oh, well, if there's a ship or something that's contaminated, we'll just blast the interior with UV light. Well, yeah, but there's these pesky areas, little nooks and crannies that are dark and shadowed forever, and it can just sit there forever, and it can grow at any point. So, unfortunately, the idea of UV light in a ship isn't going to work.
Yeah, no, we're just going to maintain good airlock protocols for anyone going in and out.
Yeah, I mean,
anything that gets on the outside of the ship will get cleansed off when we get jumped.
I mean, at this point, you guys are this is like, I mean, you don't know that that's what this is, but you're getting that
paranoia.
You're getting that paranoid feeling. I would think that after your whole thing on Endeavor, you would probably have put into place a procedure that, if you leave the ship and you come back in, unless we're like in a known starport that is clean, procedure is you do the decon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Full decon procedure, and then
That's how we roll. Is we are a healthy bunch.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have shown enough paranoia that I can pretty much say that procedure.
After watching an entire a freighter worth of Imperium be basically destroyed for not following good protocol, it became very drummed in.
Right. Yeah, and I imagine that that Randolph is probably like, looking at you. I mean, he of course he's overhearing, bits and pieces of this story about some kind of infection and your procedure for decontamination protocol, and Randolph's probably like, I don't know what this,
What the hell?
Yeah. He's like, what the shit did I get myself into?
Imagine getting toenail fungus that'll get you killed.
Yeah, your toes actually take over the rest of your body.
Oh, cool.
It's just as hard to kill.
Right.
A little single malt should take care of it.
So then the question is so you guys are like over this way. This is where the rift haulers are docked over on this pad. And you know that so you've been to 12, you've been to 11. That's your fuel tanks and the equipment shed. As if you remember, the equipment shed is very orderly. It was all stowed in Navy fashion, as they say. 10 is a freshwater stream that's partially frozen. It's like that. It's at that state where when you go to the bar and they've got their freezer in that perfect state where there's just a little bit of ice crystals in the beer. So that's what the river's like. There is little bits of ice in the river. 9 is it is white. 9 is their bridge across the stream, and you look at it and you swear to God that there's no way that it's safe for a vehicle cross it, but it is wide enough for an ATV to go across. The idea of that makes you very nervous. It doesn't look like it's going to hold it, but you can see that there are tire tracks, so the ATVs have been across it. And then you know that over here, you haven't been to investigate it yet, but you know that there is an ATV parked in the facility. Now, the one thing that I haven't brought up is that this whole complex, there are lights. So this entire area is bathed in white light from various spotlights. And but all of the spotlights are kind of pointed in because, I mean, they don't need to worry about an invasion from anybody. There's nobody here. And so they just have the lights showing into the complex, and it gives a very lonely feeling, because you are in this bubble of light, and you look out of this bubble of light, and even up at the sky, and there is nothing. I mean, the stars are even faint here because they are so far away.
That's understood. What building was you said there was some life forms that weren't really showing a lot of sentience? Or diluted sentience?
Do we
So,
at least get a direction?
your funny feeling is coming from this area.
Then that's where I think we should go investigate first.
How big is that ATV?
It is a full ATV. I have it here. Yep, here's one.
I wanted to ask you a question on the wafer jacks, the way they work. So it's listed as broadband 4. Does that mean that it's 2 for agent and 2 for the expert system, or does that mean it can slot 2 expert systems?
So it could slot 2 expert systems.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure how that worked.
Up to bandwidth 2. So 4 could do 2 of those.
2 level 2s. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't sure if the other 2 was dedicated to like an agent or not.
Yeah, no, it actually the wafer jack actually has the software built in, and it doesn't take up any of the bandwidth.
All right. Well, I'm going to slot medic 2 and survival 2 before putting on my vac suit, because once I got the vac suit on, I'm not changing wafer jacks at all.
Thank you.
Is somebody whittling? Like, what's going on that I'm hearing?
I'm getting the cat hairs off my computer.
All right. That sounds like somebody's doing some carving in the background.
I thought somebody was slurping on a pop or something.
That was me drinking iced tea.
Does everybody have a vac suit?
Yes.
So here is the ATV. It is a standard issue ATV. It is unarmed, but it does have an observation turret, and that, I mean, you know, in the future it could have a weapon thrown in.
Is there anything funky we need to know about the planet in terms of like gravity or atmosphere or weather or day cycle?
So gravity is fairly normal. It might be a little bit lighter than Earth normal, but aside from that, you shouldn't have any problem with it. The atmosphere is very thin, so most people, if they haven't acclimatized to it,
that's right,
then they need to wear a mask.
And you talked about the idea that we knew about that ahead of time and could have acclimated on the jump.
Correct. I mean, you're wearing vac suits, so it's not going to be an issue for you anyways. You do know that at higher elevations, such as getting into the crater of the volcano, that the atmosphere is low enough up there that you will suffer from altitude sickness.
And that's where there's you mentioned there's like an astronomy station, right?
Yeah, there's an observatory up there.
Observatory, there we go. That was the word.
And whoops. Not what I wanted, but anyways. So there is that, and then the other thing is that it is. I mean, it could be considered a shirt sleeves environment. However, unless you're out doing strenuous work, you're going to get chilled pretty fast.
Gotcha. Okay.
At the quote unquote night, it gets pretty cold outside. But during the day, which I mean, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between if you look out the window because it's almost constantly twilight here. During the day, if you're out doing some strenuous activity, you could just be wearing a t-shirt. But if you stop working, you're going to get cold pretty quick.
Okay.
I think we ought to just systematically clear the shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, we'll cross the river here, you know, and then immediately check out these little accommodation,
Like number 2.
Right, and then hit the ATV here,
Okay.
and then, you know,
So
and
before leaving the ship, can we use the ship scanners to maybe try to identify the location of the other ATV? I mean, I know that she mentioned that it went to the volcano, but I don't know if the ship scanners are that precise where you can actually detect like electronic signals or.
That is a good question. Let's take a look at the Rift Hauler stats.
Yeah, it probably doesn't have very good. It's not like it's not the Dranaxian.
Yeah, no.
It's not a Harrier with military grade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. It's
Or a
it does
scout
have
ship.
improved sensors, so I would think that if you wanted to do a sensor scan, you could probably locate the other ATV, especially since you know already what you're looking for.
Okay. Yeah, let's try to do that. Get an idea of what direction and.
Go ahead and make an electronic sensor. Oh, hold on. See here. We're gonna say that the improved sensors, off the top of my head, is going to give you probably a +1, I think.
Okay.
Let me double check that just to be sure, but I think
This is kind of a delicate.
Yeah, I am going to go ahead while he's doing all that and set off the ship comms on an automated warning for this area right now.
So I rolled an unmodified 9.
okay. You do find the Jack wants to leave the ship with a laser rifle if possible. Yeah, you can leave the ship with a laser rifle. I mean, are you leaving a laser rifle on the ship, or is that what you're packing?
No, yeah, I want to pack it with us as we go around, if that's all right.
Perfect.
Hey, we have these laser revolvers too.
Yeah, he took one.
Those.
Yeah, I always carry one of those, but I figured since the laser rifle is so much bigger, I ought to be sure and mention it.
That roll's really weird. I rolled a 6 and a 3, which is a 9. Plus 5 would have been a 14. I don't know why it.
Did you hear me that I set off a comm loop saying that this is now a hazardous zone? Danger, stay away. Yeah.
So you're putting on an automated message that
Quarantine.
Yeah, you're quarantining the area until further notice.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
While we investigate, this whole area should be considered a hostile environment and is under quarantine until further notice. Signed, Dr. Bocephus.
Okay.
Blah blah blah.
You do detect the other ATV.
All right, cool. I just want to get I mean, I know that she told us where it went, but that doesn't mean that's where it did go. You know, so just having an idea of the direction and distance would
trust really but verify, sorta.
Yep.
Amen. Right. You detect it. It's about 15 clicks from the station.
Okay. And we have an idea what direction. Okay.
And its systems seem to be offline, and the power plant is shut down.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm surprised I got anything.
Yeah, basically, you're picking up a MAD reading, and that's about it.
Okay, no problem.
And like I said, the reason why you picked it up is because you knew what to look for.
Sure. Sure.
I mean, you know that this ATV sitting here, they're probably identical. That's
right.
Two things that military and corporations do. They don't buy differences between two vehicles. Oh, that one works. Buy 20 of them, identical with the same exact power windows and air conditioning, and then so they're all the same. So you knew what to look for.
As somebody who's bought a car through a fleet broker, I know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But the ATV there at number 8 is I mean, that just clearing the areas on the way to there and going to there, that sets us up with transportation outside of the ship.
Yeah, assuming this is safe to get in.
Right. Well, I mean, that's where I'm suggesting that we go first, as soon as we all are suited and booted. And
yeah. Let's.
So,
because we're parked up here in 13, right? And we've checked out 12, and we've hooked up to the fuel lines.
Right.
But we're gonna want to cross this bridge, so yeah, it makes sense that we.
So you're going to this number 2 first.
Might as well check it out on our way to the vehicle.
No kidding. We need to check it out.
Okay.
And I'll go pack and load a shell in the shotgun.
So everybody can make a recon plus intellect check.
That's my favorite.
Oof.
6 plus
I
3
got
is
12.
9 plus
Oof.
2.
Jack accidentally pokes out his own eye.
13.
Nice.
Jack
I got-
sneezes
I
the
got a
inside of
9.
his. Sneezes on the inside of his mouth.
Yes.
Fail.
He's got a little windshield wiper in there. Let's see here. Bocephus,
I got a
Randolph, and Sarda. Sarda, what'd you get?
I only got a 7.
Not Sarda, but George. You guys.
13.
Yeah. No, you guys look up here at this building, and you see these buildings are obviously, I wouldn't say they are prefab, but they're made out of, essentially they have a machine where they crush up the rocks, it turns it into silica, and essentially they prefab these walls. These walls go into these hollow metal braces, and the water and power is run through these hollow metal braces. They are essentially identical, but this one, you see that this front door is practically ripped off of its hinges. This door, however, is sealed up tight in the locked position.
Oh, nice.
Uh-oh. Yeah, anybody bring a 10-foot pole?
Well, don't we have an engineer that can open that thing up?
Probably
I
can.
don't want to open it up.
Yeah,
Yes, I am an engineer and I am a mechanic.
Yeah, it would just be a mechanic plus your choice, either intellect or education, to open that door. If you want to do it, old school. I mean, you could try to. It's an electronic lock. You could try to hack the computer too.
I have a laser-powered lockpick.
Yeah.
Let me give this a shot here. So you said mechanic and
Mechanic plus either intellect or education.
not very good.
Yeah, you're diddling around with it. Does anybody else want to try?
Yeah, I've got 1 second, where is that? I've got mechanics 1, so
There you go.
with intellect. Oh, that's
I-
nice. That's going to be 8 plus 1, 9 plus 2 is 11.
Yeah. So George comes over and says, "Here, let me show you how it's done," and he gets the door open. And these 3 buildings are living accommodations. They're living quarters, and they're basically designed. They are a rectangular building with a central corridor running through to a common living area. across the rear of the building. On each side of the corridor are 2 Starship-style cabins. There's a closet for machinery and general storage. Actually, yeah. Well, here they look like this.
Ah.
So there's this storage closet here. There's 2 on each side. There's 2 quarters. It looks like they were designed for dual occupancy, but you notice that this cabin up here appears to have been, the beds have been pushed together, so it seems like there was a couple there. And then there is a common area down here at the bottom. And then in the middle here, there is a common head. And the door...
Lights and power are on in here?
Yes. And the door here is closed, but you can hear that the shower is running inside.
All right.
Got the
I'll
company.
go ahead and extend the
That could be
shield on
awkward.
my wrist shield.
Okay.
You know,
So you're popping your melee shield.
that's right.
We've got the company store here.
Yeah, I think we should open up this door and see what the fuck's in the shower.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So you open this door and you see in the shower that the shower is running. You can tell that there is a corpse sitting in the shower with the water running on it, in a very clean, very wet suit, or naval uniform that is now splattered with blood. And the only way that you know that the corpse is female is because you can see her chest and she has female features. Most of her head is missing. She blew her own head off. The pistol is in her hand. And there is on the bathroom floor is a tablet that is open to her final log.
Well, how long does it look like she's been dead?
A
You're the
while.
medic. Oh.
Not a while. Looks like she's probably been dead for about a week. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
to your medic eyes, she looks like she's been dead about a week.
Oh, I think she's been dead
It's
about
been
a
just
week.
long enough that the water pooling at the bottom of the shower is turning to soup.
I will turn it off.
Okay.
The water.
I mean, at least she was clean about it.
Yeah. So, you want to go ahead and look at the final log? See what the fuck she said?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to read this log to you. And it says, "Candling station has fallen. We've been overrun by something alien. I think it came in on the supply ship, some sort of infection that turned the astrogator into a monster. She was sick with what looked like a virus. It didn't respond to treatment, but it didn't seem to get any worse for quite a while. Then, day 20 after the supply ship landed, she went crazy and started attacking people. She changed quickly after that. So did the ones that she wounded. It was less than 24 hours later when they started attacking the rest of us. The astrogator was turning into something else by then. There was a fungus growing on their face. We weren't sure who was infected and who was not. The skipper broke out the security guns and we fought back. We blew holes in them, but they kept coming. Usually. Some didn't, and I wonder if we killed our friends thinking they were hostiles. We tried to hold the command station, but Space Hand Carey had been infected. He shot the skipper in the back. I shot Carey as he turned to look at me. I don't know if he was going to shoot me or not. It was like he didn't want to do it, but he couldn't help himself. I went out the back window as one of the shamblers started smashing into the control room. I got to the ground okay, but couldn't see what was going on. Part of the base was on fire, and one of the ATVs was gone. So was one of the air rafts. I saw Zurich getting into the other one with Dr. Mill. They called out to me, but I didn't know if they were infected, so I made for my quarters. I got inside with 3 shells in the shotgun and 2 magazines in my sidearm. Some of the hostiles were shambling fungus zombies at this point. Some seemed to be normal but weirdly clumsy. They were all still recognizable as the people I knew. They tried to get in but couldn't open the door. After a while, they went away and I made a reset of the base. I tried to take a couple of them out, but bullets didn't seem to harm the shamblers. I did put old Dr. Salder down with a couple rounds to the chest. He was clearly infected. He was trying to use a handgun, kept looking at it like he couldn't understand why it didn't work, even though it was obvious there was no magazine in it. He went down when I shot him, and 4 hours later he got up again as one of those things. I went back out and gave it a whole magazine, but no effect. I've made a couple of ventures outside these past few days, but every time I do, I attract a shambler and I have to take refuge. They smash at the door longer each time before they give up. I've seen them dragging stuff from other buildings, mostly food, even the potted plants. I saw one trying to eat the moss outside the science building. It gave up quickly with the most human expression of disgust. Final sit rep. I have no way of knowing if anyone else survived, but I suppose it's possible. I think someone got away in the ATV. Both air rafts are gone. Someone might have got to the observatory. One of the scientists was up there when this started, I think. I made a try for the remaining ATV, but they were on to me straight away. They chased me back inside, and they have been smashing at the door ever since. Now I'm trapped and out of food. If they get me, I'll turn into one of them, one more soldier for the other side. Well, I can deny them that. This is able space hand Kenya Valiance Makalu, probably sole last survivor of Candling Station. Let the record show that we were overrun, but we did not surrender, and I can take one of them out for you. Give the rest of them hell. And you hear a single gunshot, and that's the end of her log.
Well, she was a badass.
Yeah. Well, I think we've overstayed our welcome.
Well, the ship's going to take probably at least another day, maybe 2 days to refuel. So,
some people got away. Let's at least figure out if they're okay, right?
Hold on.
I guess. I mean, if that's just the route we have to go, but we all know how this goes.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't. How did this go?
Randolph's like, fill me in.
So you ever heard of that? Well, there's a fungus that gets inside ants and kills them, and then makes their bodies move around. We're basically talking about that on a bigger scale.
The last time this happened, the Imperial Navy nuked a whole space station and a whole ship full of people.
So we know that the other ship is safe. There's been a woman inside it for quite a while and seems to not be showing any signs, so we can assume that it's fairly safe. However, it doesn't have any way of leaving without someone hacking into the ship or a captain.
Right, it's locked down.
It's under lockdown. So we're going to need the captain or the captain's keys to the ship or whatever it takes.
This is the first lieutenant, right?
She is a able space hand.
She's private.
Yeah, she's shit.
She herself explained that she was very underexperienced for the job she took.
I feel you.
But we know that at least we got 2 air cars and a Jeep got away. All 3 of those may be people that were not contaminated that safely got away. We should at least try to track them down.
Sure, but we don't fuck around.
No,
we shoot people and make sure that they don't have the fungus afterwards.
And from previous experience, energy weapons worked much better on these things than
bullets. Use a lot of energy weapons
and fire.
Even fire. Even a stunner worked better than a pistol, for example.
Yeah, that's right. So we need to get this shit done. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Hold on here.
I guess checking out the ATV is the next order.
So
make sure it's not contaminated.
The door slams open.
Ah, here we go. Speaking of the devils.
and there are 2 shamblers.
The fungus people, aren't they?
Yep. They
Yeah,
are.
that's...
You can tell, and hold on, I'll get a picture of a shambler so that Randolph knows what it is that he's dealing with. Let me throw a initiative.
Oh, that's just bullshit. I'm not really bitching. Just that's bullshit.
There's going to
Who
come a
brought
point.
grenades? Who
There's
brought
gonna-
grenades?
There's going to come a point where the Imperium just blames us for this because it's twice now we've stumbled into it.
All right, should all be up there. And this is what shamblers look like.
Yeah, I remember them. Fuck them. Put them down.
Dude, he's got things out of his eyes.
Yeah, there's like little fungal growth sticking out of his eyes, and these. So shamblers, when they. So there's a progress to this. When people are initially infected, they generally have a general flu-like malaise. They feel under the weather. They're irritable. They're running a temperature. And then they kind of get more and more belligerent about wanting to be with people. And so if they're on an isolated location, their first thing is, no, we gotta get somewhere where there's a lot more people. We gotta get out of here. And they'll come up with a whole bunch of excuses for that. And then as the infection progresses beyond that, then they start to turn into shamblers. And at first, when they are a newborn shambler, they still have some of the capabilities of that they had in life. Like they might remember how to actually operate a door, keypad, etc. But
Yeah.
as that wears on, they tend to become clumsier and clumsier and clumsier. And so, which is why they ended up getting the name Shamblers. They just start shuffling around. Like she said, at one point the doctor was like looking at the pistol, trying to shoot the pistol, would look at the pistol and couldn't understand why it wasn't working, and it didn't even occur to him that there was no magazine in it. So they become dumb like that. They have some serious damage reduction from physical weapons. Like bullets just go right through them, and they're like, whatever.
For the flamethrowers.
Flamethrowers, laser weapons, energy weapons seems to do pretty good. I mean,
And hatchets chop them up real good, don't they?
Yeah, but that means you got to get into melee contact, and then you have to worry about, is there a tear in your suit? I touched one. Am I infected now? So yeah, that's problematic. Shambler. Need to roll.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Let's see, Randolph, you got a 0. Is that right?
Am I supposed to roll?
Yeah, everybody roll initiative.
Yeah, I have a 0.
Okay.
Well, how do I roll initiative?
So roll.
So it's either a dex roll or an int roll.
Yep, you want to roll 2d6 plus either dex or intellect, and you're trying to get average 8+. The effect plus or minus is your initiative.
And if you have acrobatics dex, that would factor in.
Yeah.
And if someone has tactics, military tactics, that might help us all.
Oh yeah, that's true. Jack, do you have tactics military?
I do indeed.
Why don't you go ahead and make a tactics military check? Tactics plus intellect or education.
Okay.
Nice.
9.
So that increases everybody's by 1. Everybody's initiative goes up by 1.
So that means I got a 10.
So you got a 2.
You subtract 8 from whatever you rolled.
Yeah. So that's gonna.
And
Oh yeah, I'm already up by 1.
so
Okay,
that
good, thanks.
so that puts Gabe at 0.
No, I'm at -1 still. I was at -2.
Right, but you oh, you're right.
Oh, do you use the tactics check instead?
No, you get so you got an effective 1. No, you're right. You're right.
Okay. Yeah.
So then my question is, between George and Sarda, which one of you wants to go first?
I'm happy to let George go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's far more effective in combat than I am.
So
yeah, but I don't have a flamethrower, so my combat effectiveness is reduced.
Well, the other thing that has been effective in the past, and this is from another completely other crew, one of them did have a full auto rifle, and if you do hit them
up the little pieces.
Essentially, if you do hit them with enough bullets, even with their massive damage reduction, they, eventually there's nothing left. But I mean, they're now a pile of, essentially they turn into creepers. So little bits and pieces of them squirming around on the ground.
My stunner worked well last time we fought them.
Energy weapon, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Randolph, you see for the first time a shambler, and it slams the door open and comes in, or is stepping in. What would you like to do?
I'm going to move to there to clear Jack and fire with my shotgun.
Okay.
I do have a blade if things get really bad.
So yeah, go ahead and make your shot. Gun combat, slug plus dex.
Unfortunately, that's 10.
Okay, hold on. I need to bring up another on page 16. Shambler. Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to find this damage reduction. Okay.
I don't think they have damage reduction. It's Friday.
And it's Friday,
Shamblers don't suffer from damage reduction on Fridays.
Tuesdays and they're facing south.
Absolutely.
And the moon's in the right phase.
Right.
Now I'm firing double-aught buck. 12
And
gauge.
against shotguns, don't they take like double damage?
No.
It's a 4D. I mean, shotguns are 4D, so.
You still got to roll your damage, though.
Yeah, hold on.
He's looking for the reduction.
Yeah, it'll just be like severely reduced. Possibly by up to 10, 20 points. It'd be crazy.
I don't like the way they did this, what it's coming down to.
I got my 4D as a 16. So I just hit him with 9 38 special bullets. Yeah,
so normal projectiles, blades, and bludgeoning weapons have their damage halved. Impaling weapons and low-velocity projectiles like spears or arrows do 1 point of damage per dice normally rolled. All right, so you got...
That's awful.
So they're going to take 8. So you see, you guys, blam! Randolph lets loose with his shotgun, and you see this shambler takes it right to the chest and just keeps going.
Okay.
Okay.
The shambler. He doesn't have a whole lot of movement. He's going to... Nope. He only gets that far.
It's the shamble in the name.
Yes. The shambler comes in that far. And that's all they do. They just kind of shuffle in.
Is that all three That's all 3 actions for him?
Well, no.
What else? They don't have any weapons.
No, they use melee. Yeah, I guess he could do that, and he could... There's 6. Alright, so they run up into Jack's and Randolph's face. George, what do you want to do?
Which one of them is the one that Randolph just shot with his shotgun?
It'd be the one on Jack.
Okay. I'm going to scoot in here right beside Randolph.
Okay.
And I'm going to open up with both auto pistols on the one on Jack.
Okay.
Try to take him down. I think we can hold them off with our vac suits. I mean, we got really good vac suits. That's a 10. Actually, yep, that's just a 10. So first one hits. I'll just roll all the dice at once if the second one hits.
Yeah, that is a hit with a +2 damage.
Okay, and I also rolled a 12, so that would be a hit with a +4 damage.
Yes.
So that's 6 altogether, and let's just roll all the damage. That's what I was trying to do. I'll roll the damage at once. 3, -6. We'll just take that one out. So 6 +6. I'm really doing good here. That's 12, 18, 20, 23, 24. So 24 points altogether, including the +6 from being good. Halved is 12 damage.
Yeah. So George comes up and goes all John Woo. Bam, 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 bam. And this shambler takes a whole bunch of bullets to the chest and is still going to attack Jack.
All right, good.
Sarda, you hear all of this gunplay going on, and you see that there's a shambler right out there going for Randolph. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'll draw my stunner as an action and then take a shot.
Okay.
It's actually +1 to hit. I forgot the modifier on the scope. So it's a 10 to hit.
Yep, +2 to damage.
So wow, crappy damage. So it is. The damage is not correct on this. So let me replace the. It's 1 less damage. so it ends up being 8 points of energy damage, non-lethal energy damage.
Okay, so
Yeah, because I've got it down. This is supposed to be a 3d6 weapon, not 2d6 plus 3.
let me double check something.
And after I fire, I'm going to crouch so that Bocephus can hypothetically fire over my head.
So I'm sorry, how much damage did you do?
8 non-lethal energy damage.
Okay. So yeah, you zap him, and you can see the blue lightning kind of go all over him like normal, but he doesn't seem like he's sleepy, and he just keeps going.
Got it.
Did you want to move at all, or are you gonna?
I don't have the actions for it, so I just want to crouch so that if Bocephus wants to fire over my head, he can.
Okay. Bocephus, what would you like to do?
Well, I don't have a lot, so I'm just going to shoot this guy's sniper rifle.
Okay. Jeez. I mean,
It's 5 meters.
yeah, using a sniper rifle within 5 meters. I mean, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's what I got.
If you shoot me in the back with a sniper rifle from 2 feet away, I'll be upset.
Right? Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to aim with it, and instead of I'm just going to kind of pull it out, my sniper rifle, and then I'm going to use an awareness skill.
Okay.
I want to.
You want to do combat awareness?
I'm sorry. Talents. I'm scrolling to it. I want to. Not tactical awareness. Here we go. Pyrokinesis.
Okay. Hold on here. On it. Pyrokinesis is an awareness? Oh, okay.
No, this is it's a telekinesis. Remember,
Gotcha.
I put 1 in telekinesis. I was scrolling to awareness. I was gonna start one thing, but then I scrolled to this, and I'm like, fuck it. If I roll good, I do some fire damage to it, and that might be really, really beneficial. And
yeah, that is.
You mean just what the doctor ordered?
yeah,
yeah.
That's what I'm gonna try. I mean, these So that's what I'm gonna try. So I will roll my.
Jack uses a dad joke as vicious mockery on the Shambler.
So that is a 10, which will be an effect of 4. Yeah, I was 1 shy.
He becomes warmer, but he is undamaged.
Yes.
Yeah. So George and Randolph, you can see smoke starting to come off of the Shambler, but aside from that, that's about it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I tried something.
Actually, that was a good idea because they take full damage from fire.
Right. Well, I was trying to do something.
Damage for a blade?
No. In fact, they.
Like one of those lightning blades, yes.
From blades, they take. It's less.
If there's some fancy energy blades that might hurt them, but
yeah, normal projectiles, blades, and bludgeoning weapons have their damage halved. But like impaling weapons or low velocity projectiles like spears and arrows, they only do 1 point of damage per dice number or per dice normally rolled. So, yeah. A blade would do half damage just like a gun.
Just like my shotgun.
Exactly. But, I
And-
mean, at this point, he's within melee range, so your only option right now is to club him with the shotgun. You know.
Or pull my blade out, which I'm carrying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as you could use a minor action to draw your blade and stab him. Jack, what would you like to do? You have a shambler in your face.
I think my only option is a butt stroke, right?
Yeah, unless you want to use a minor.
'Cause
If
it's,
you've got a melee weapon, you could do that. What kind of laser rifle are you using? Are you using a regular laser rifle or is it a carbine?
Just a regular laser rifle.
Yeah, you could club him with it.
Yeah, I can't shoot him in melee with it.
Nope. That is a hit. So it's going to act as a club, so 2d damage, and he will take half that.
Okay. Yeah.
Big money.
Shit, that's pretty good, actually. For
Yeah.
rifle butting him.
Knocked his mushrooms off.
So Jack swings the butt of his rifle around, and you hit him in the jaw, and the lower half of basically the lower half of his face, kind of comes undone, and is like hanging there by shreds. And you see that there's all of these like little fungal tentacles coming out of the inside of the roof of his mouth, and kind of, all squiggly out in front of you.
Oh, good.
But he's still standing there.
Can I move?
No. Oh,
No.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
Okay.
How far?
I just want to.
You've got a
want to
minor.
move. I want to move out of melee though.
Mm-hmm.
So if he takes a swing, then that's fine. But I'll go. How far is it? 6 meters or something?
Yep, 6 meters.
I don't have my ruler up, but out there. I just want to be out of melee with him.
Yeah, actually, you can move up to that corner completely.
Yeah, I'll move there.
Okay. So he will take a swing.
Yep.
Ooh, and he hits. But he only does 4 points of damage, which I think your vac suit probably has enough armor to stop that.
Yeah.
So you hear a thump on your vac suit, but nothing gets through.
All right.
Randolph, what would you like to do?
Take a minor action, draw my blade, and take a big swing to cut his head off.
Do a pokey stabby? Yeah, go for it. I have a cat meowing at me, and I don't know where it is.
Ninja cat.
Ninja cat.
So it's dex and melee.
It would be melee blade and plus your dex or your strength. You can choose either one.
They're both DM1, DM0.
Well, then I guess it doesn't matter. In our Pirates campaign, we have a guy playing an Aslan that is like, "Oh, I'm going to use strength." Obviously, like, yeah, he likes to carry a Reaver's axe while wearing a battle suit. So, oh shit.
I died.
So
I missed. Oof.
Randolph goes
Throw
to
your sword across the room.
Yeah, Randolph basically draws his blade and goes to stab the Shambler, and the Shambler, it almost looks like it was planned, but the knife blade goes under his arm, and the Shambler tucks his arm in and twists the blade out, and it lands on the ground over here. I mean, it almost looks like he did a martial arts move, but you know better because He basically, if he was a martial artist, he would be a martial artist with terrible palsy. The Shamblers. He's going to move and attack George. And he's the one with the tentacles coming, or the little creepers coming out of his face. And he doesn't look like he's doing so well.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen Last of Us. I played the video game. I know what I'm doing.
He hits he hits with an 8. But he only gets 5 points of damage.
How much damage? 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I figured that probably didn't break your armor.
Doesn't even touch my vac suit.
Yeah, and this one's going to swing on Randolph. And he hits with an 8. And he does 5. He probably doesn't get through the armor of your vac suit either.
So does that take 5 away from the protection?
No.
Okay.
No. There are cases where there can be damage to your equipment, but it's got to be something pretty extreme. I mean, they have to. Usually, it's got to be, a really massive hit for me to say, hey, you know what? You're gonna have to. For instance, that same Aslan got hit by a PGMP. Yeah, and I rolled boxcars on the hit. And so, yeah, part of his suit was like melted and had to be repaired, and it was.
Do I have a minor action left?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do I have a minor action left?
No, but we'll come back around.
Drawing a weapon uses one.
Yeah, but I would assume. I mean, you probably have the shotgun still in the other hand. You just drew your blade and tried to stab and screwed that up. So, George McDuff, what would you like to do?
Well, maybe I should back up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean he would take a swing on you.
That's fine.
All right. Ooh, 13. He's got a +5.
RoboCop's not scared.
For 10 points of damage.
Yep, I'm still good.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, those are pretty good vac suits. What's the armor on those? Is it like +10? Nice. So he just barely. He did it. You like felt it, but you're like, whew, it held.
That's okay. I've got subdurable armor too, a +3, so I'm good.
All right.
So I actually got a lot of armor for like just a crazy kid in a vac suit. All right, so I'm going to open up with both auto pistols again. I mean, eventually this thing's only taking half damage. It's going to drop, so...
Right, sooner or later.
Okay, that's a definite miss with that one. I rolled a 3.
Yep.
Not as good as last time.
Jack's up here in the corner like, hey, watch it!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was like really kind of like swinging past him, and the next one I rolled an 8.
That hits.
Okay. No extra damage. So that's going to be already halved. He's going to take 5 points of damage.
Okay. So he drops. He takes the shot and right to the chest once again and drops to the ground. And you immediately see that out of the bullet wounds, there are more of these creepers coming out trying to reach around. And he'll probably turn into creepers en masse. The Shambler is down, but you can't really say that he's dead because now he's turning into something else.
Well, he's never alive anyway.
Yeah.
We need fire.
Yeah,
I recommend fire and lots of it.
Yeah.
Why did we not buy a flamethrower? Like that was like first on my list.
Sarda, what would you like to do?
All right. Well, I'm not sure that the stunner's working, but I'm willing to give it another shot until I know for sure that it's not.
Okay.
So I will use an action to use the smart tracker on my gun,
Okay.
and that gives me a +2 firing at this guy, and take a shot at him.
Okay.
So that's a 12 to hit.
Yeah.
And that is
+3 to your damage.
So it'll be 11 damage.
So he'll take 5. Yeah, once again, you see that he kind of... if you've seen enough episodes of Cops, he kind of goes, and then he just keeps going.
Yep. Like I said, I don't know if it's doing anything or not, but...
Yeah, more smoke comes off of him.
Okay.
Josephus,
Right.
What would you like to do?
You like to run to the ship.
That is kind of what I want to do, but right now I have to. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I want to sit in the airlock and put the lotion on the skin.
Run right up here to this guy, and I'm just gonna. I've got my shield kind of out in one hand, and I'm just gonna hit him with the other hand, with my piston fist.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he'll take half damage from the piston fist.
Mm-hmm. I could use strength or dex, I believe. Is that right?
That is correct. It is a melee.
It doesn't matter.
I guess
All
it would
right,
be melee unarmed.
Right. That's what I invested in. I got unarmed 1.
It's basically a cestus.
Yeah. And here we go. I miss.
You missed.
Ouch.
Yeah.
He comes out and he looks all impressive. He does some like dolphin foo, and then, aside from that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, is I've got this shield that gives me another +8 protection. So.
This guy. No, that's not what I want. All right, there we go. So the tendril, what did the tendril do? You know what? I've never used a creeper before, other than to just gross you out. Wrong book. Here we go. Where's creepers? Oh, that's right.
Uh-oh. It's not good when the game master goes, oh, that's right.
Yeah, I remember reading about this. Okay, so the creeper, the tendrils coming out of this dead shambler, quote unquote dead shambler. Yes, one of the tendrils comes over and attaches to Bocephus's boot, and it's like on, like your suit integrity is showing that it is working its way into the fibers of your vac suit.
Oh, what I wouldn't do to have some fire.
I've got a laser cutting tool.
That'll do it, yeah.
It's not a great melee weapon, but it'll probably help with that.
Jack, what would you like to do? You're the one with the big laser weapon. You got the big gauge, Jack.
I do. And now's the time to use it.
So I can tell you the creepers have a hell of a lot less hit points than the shamblers do. There's
How do you
not much
feel
in.
about
They move
putting
really,
hole
really
in your
slow.
foot?
Yeah.
So there's one shambler that's down, right?
Yeah, and it has now turned into a creeper and is attached to Bocephus's foot.
Well, I don't really want to shoot at something attached to my friend, but
you know.
So
it's only a tendril it's attached to. I mean, you can shoot at the creature.
If you ever worked as a DJ at a strip club, there are a lot of times you might open fire if something was attached to your friend.
Can I draw?
Take a shot. Okay.
I'm gonna draw up my stunner and use that instead.
Okay. So stunner. Well, hold on. So stunner.
Sorry.
Stunner.
I have the 10-meter one.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. You're fine.
Yeah.
And that is a hit.
That was a good
With
shot.
a
Jack.
+5 to your damage.
Should have gave you a combat drug, but I didn't want you fatigued this early in the day, and I haven't created stems yet.
It's all right. They take a while to start.
Plus, he's in a vac suit.
Oh, you know,
It's hard to scratch your eyeballs when you're in a vac suit.
Well, it's hard to
12
give him a
damage?
shot.
Okay, so the creeper takes a full shot from the stunner and falls dead. It falls off of Bocephus's boot.
Oh, that's
Yay!
I've got a laser cutter that we can make sure that your boot's safe.
We'll just cut it off at the knee. You'll be fine.
Well, it only does a D6 damage, which isn't enough to get through his suit, but it'll probably be enough to kill whatever might be attached to his suit.
True.
That's
True.
what I'm thinking.
He can 3D print a new leg tomorrow. So
Yeah, that's right.
It's not going to get through his suit. Right?
Randolph,
So-
what would you like to do?
I'm not sure if I should reach down and get the blade or just butt stroke this guy with my shotgun. But what are the costs of reaching down and getting my blade and trying to use it?
It would be an action to pick it up.
I would say it'd be a minor action to try and pick it up, and then an action to use it. If it were me, I would use the minor action. I mean, you would risk him getting a shot on you. If you use your minor action to move away 6 meters, and then shoot him, you're probably going to do more damage because either way. So using the butt of your shotgun is going to do 2d, and the blade.
It's going to do 2D.
Yeah.
It's 2D.
So I don't know. If it were me, I'd risk him taking a punch at me. Because he doesn't have any weapons, he's just using unarmed combat, and he only does 1d damage on unarmed combat, which probably isn't going to get through your vac suit.
Especially since he's wearing a boarding vac suit, so it has even more armor.
Right.
I have an improved boarding vac suit. So
Yeah.
We're wearing normal vac suits.
I have 13 armor. I'm going to move to there and shoot him.
Okay, so he will take a swing. Hits. Just hits. For a whole terrifying 5, a sloppy fist smacks your chest. Or I guess your back as you're running away. And then you can go ahead and take a shot. Nice. So he'll take another 5 from a shotgun blast. And you see bits and pieces of him blow off. Like kind of splatter the walls. Probably a little bit lands on Jack. And definitely Bocephus. George. Oh, and probably George.
That's okay.
It's like being at a Gallagher show.
Yeah, there's this other one there. I'm going to try to hit him again with the auto pistols.
All right.
Well, I didn't hit Jack, so...
That's good.
And that's going to be a 9, so +1.
There you go.
And that's going to be 12. He's going to take 6 points of damage. This last guy standing here, and then we can finish him off, okay?
So one of your bullets goes through one of his eyes, and
that's healthy.
He like part of his, it goes through his eye, and there's obviously an exit wound at the back of his head, and then like part of his face and head just kind of sloughs off and falls on the floor, and you see more of these tendrils coming out of the side of his head. But he's still standing.
You know,
Mommy.
Just not friendly.
Mommy.
Sarda, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out that laser cutter and attempt to make sure that there's nothing still stuck to his boot.
Okay.
So I will burn a minute of the 10 minutes that thing can fire for.
Okay, so Sarda comes over and tries to sterilize Bocephus's boot. The Shambler.
Just because we have seen that thing eat its way into vac suits.
Right. The Shambler's going to take a swing on Bocephus.
Bocephus has a shield.
Yeah. So hold on here. I got to look it up.
I think it adds 8 armor.
Yep, sure does. Protection 8.
Does it, or does it increase your melee?
No, it adds 8.
Or increase your parry.
No, it adds protection 8.
Oh, well, shit. All right. Well, he only got an 8, which is technically a hit, but I guess that's not really going to matter. Which is only 5 damage. Man, he rolls a lot of 5s. This guy sucks.
Yeah, but that's all in
even
my
if
shield.
he rolled a 6, it's not going to matter. So.
Yeah,
All
that's why I engaged him so hard.
So while Sarda's burning off part of your boot, you just raise it up, and this guy hammers at your extendable shield. And Bocephus, what would you like to do?
I guess I'm gonna punch him with my damn piston fist and see how it works out.
Okay. There you go. +1 to damage.
That's a 9. Yeah. This will be 3d6 plus 2. $15.
Okay, so he is going to take 7, and he does go down. You knock his head clear off.
Yay.
Mommy.
And he drops down, and tendrils start coming out of his neck, and he is turning into a creeper.
Yeah. I want to dodge away from him or anything I can do as quickly as possible. If I got movement, I want to move away.
And his net changed to -2. Yeah, you can go ahead and move 6 meters away. Of course, that will... you've got now a big black mark on your boot from Sarda's sterilizing where the creeper was.
It was right over there.
Okay. Jack, what do you want to do?
This one right here is still standing, right?
So this one has dropped, but he has turned into into a mass of creepers, just like the other one.
You got to kill him twice.
There's tendrils coming out of his neck.
I'll attack him with the stunner.
Okay.
Except missed.
No.
Right.
That is a miss.
And I want to go ahead and sling that laser rifle.
Okay. I don't know, man. The laser rifle would do full damage to him.
Yeah, but I don't want to miss and hit anybody.
That's true.
With a stunner, at least they're only knocked out.
That's true.
Laser rifle.
Yeah, laser rifle's 5D damage right to the.
I've got my med kit, man.
Right to the keystone.
Go ahead, Jack.
He's got a resurrection kit.
Reaper.
I'm out of the way. It's okay.
Can I take another shot?
If you want to take a -1 to it, you could.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
So that's a +3, right?
That is correct.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. All right. And that time you zap him and drop him. So yeah, you guys can take multiple actions, but you're at a -1 for each additional action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it starts to get pretty gross pretty early on.
I think my best course of action is to go and try to use the fabrication chamber to make a flamethrower. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this, and the little bitty the TL8 flamethrower is within my parameters. You know, I could in theory print one of those in an hour. You know, so that's a 4D flame weapon to fight these shamblers with. If we're gonna go looking around, we need an equalizer, and I mean that's my solution.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. There's still the ATV. I'm kind of shrinking you guys down a little bit here, and I'm gonna copy you. Aside from that, there is some stuff in this because this building was closed up. She, in her last month, she ate all the food. There is some various off-brand soda in the machine for 1 credit apiece. There's some entertainment, video games in the entertainment system. But other than that, there's not a whole lot else in here. She went through all of the spare ammunition, and aside from that, there's some uniforms or basically just researchers' jumpsuits and whatnot. Nothing really else in here that's too much of interest.
Yeah,
let's get out of here before we attract more of these things.
Yeah, I want to go back to the ship and start the decontamination process so I can begin to make flamethrowers.
Okay.
By the time, if I get on that immediately, that starts the clock, and I think I do have the technology, and I think I bought it the right shit to make sure this goes down. So we'll see.
Were you going to make 5 of them?
Well, that would make 5 hours, but I could make one of them in an hour when I get in there, and at least that gives one weapon that has a blast kind of radius to it,
Right.
It fire. I mean, that just seems like something that can really seems like something to have. I mean, we need something to burn them off. This fungus.
So is everybody going back to the ship?
Yeah, it's
we're all going to be decontaminated for the rest of the day.
So
it's a good idea to go back just to see if we can't pull up anybody on a radio. Right, we've got 3 different ships went in different directions. There's no reason to believe we can't pick up somebody on a radio. Okay. We may not be able to get the people that are in the crater up, at the observatory, but
we've ran into this shit before, man, and the Imperium came and fucking nuked every motherfucking thing.
Yeah,
and so
you seem a little scared, Doc.
Yeah, I'm saying we don't need. I'm going to make some flamethrowers.
You forget, Bocephus was one of the people that actually went to the science lab and got to see some of this stuff firsthand. So
yeah,
he's like, no, we don't want to. They turn into they take over
just
buildings.
as a side note, I do have heavy weapons portable, so if you can make that flamethrower bigger, I could still use it.
If you could just 3D print me an FGHP 14, that would be fantastic.
I don't have the armor or the radiation protection for that.
Right. Every time you fire it, you're like, oh, well.
Yeah,
Oh, my testicles. Next time you shoot it, hey, it didn't hurt that time.
What
This
was
will have a
grenades
range
do
of
these
10
things?
meters. Yeah, this has a range of 10 meters, 4D, and it has a blast 5 and fire.
You're gonna go full of a thing on them.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make a flamethrower. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I think that's the best use of my time. Nobody's hurt.
So, like, you got to think we should have a pretty good chance. I mean, Ripley taught everybody how to make a flamethrower on an ore carrier.
That's true.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's not that difficult.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get a Bic lighter and strap a can of Aquanet next to it. I mean,
Yeah, but
You can use some of Bocephus's cologne he uses when he goes to the strip club.
that's
There you
right.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm pretty successful in the strip clubs.
go. There you go. It's got to be your
tuna.
cologne.
Yeah.
So-
sure do.
So you guys run back to the ship. You all pack into the airlock and spend the next hour. This is, I believe, your airlock here, and it also goes up to the deck 2. So you're in the airlock in tight quarters. Y'all are sitting there in the ultraviolet light. You have to sit there for an hour, basically rubbing the lotion on the skin, and after an hour, the decon sequence completes. I'm sure that your procedure is to run med scanners. You guys are clear. You're good. Your suits are clear.
All right. Then my first order of business is I've already stated it. I'm going into my new fabrication area.
So
Got my new toy set up.
Sarda and Bocephus, make a recon plus intellect check.
Oh, why do you want us to do that? I mean,
I love how paranoid you guys are getting. This is the best game I've ever run.
10.
So we got this fungus in the ship already.
I've played Pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
My cursive Strahd players weren't even this paranoid. So you both notice. So the area where Sarda used the laser torch on Bocephus's boot. So not only is there a burn mark there, obviously, but after being through the ultraviolet light, you can see a like a brown stain in the fabric where this thing had attached. So it looks like something had actually penetrated the fibers of the suit and actually had survived through the laser torch, but the ultraviolet light appears to have killed it.
It doesn't matter. I'm burning this motherfucking suit.
Hell yeah.
But
he's gonna put it in the wash line behind
No. I'm
behind
not
the
taking
engine.
any chances. I'll look over at Sarda and go, as I'm putting it into the burn dispenser, I'll be like, best we not go talking about this.
Well, that means we might look at how we can make a portable UV light.
If that's what you think I need to make.
Because I mean, if we hadn't gone back to the ship, that would have kept eating through your suit.
That's correct. That's why I immediately thought, man, I need to go back to fucking ship and decontaminate.
So I don't know, so I mean, obviously we know that it's very localized where those things hit us, but if we'd had a pretty powerful handheld UV light, that would have possibly let us clear it in the field, because we may be encountering these things away from our ship where we can't get to the UV.
Okay, so is that what you're suggesting? Is that I make a big UV light system.
If we've got the materials to be able to make something like that, I don't know if we.
You could I would think that on an ore hauler and with the combination of his fabricator,
some spare bulbs for the
for
the airlock.
Yeah, I would think that there would be enough spares around that you could probably create a UV light for one of the lights on your helmet. And I'm assuming that your vac suit helmets probably have 2 external lights. So you could turn one of them into a UV.
Or could we modify the laser rifle I had a laser carbine. Could we modify those down to where they did much less damage but a broader stream, if you will, to the same effect?
You're probably better off just leaving the lasers alone. But here's what the UV lights will do is that with creepers and stuff, they'll probably, because they're so slow moving, they'll probably kill them. Excuse me, because they can't really dodge. And they'll definitely kill parts of like a mass. But like shamblers, they'll get hit with the UV light and they'll turn and run. They'll try to do anything to get out of that UV light. So at the most, they'll try to run away from you as long as the UV light's on them. At worst, if they are forced to fight, if they're cornered, they're going to be at a -2.
So I was just thinking about it in terms of like the situation we ran into, where if somebody does get hit by one of those things, we just immediately hit him with the UV light.
Right.
Yeah, that's. I wasn't thinking of it as a weapon or anything. I was thinking more of a.
And UV light would sterilize whatever they infected.
Yeah, that's.
No, I'm just saying as a way of parts to produce something that projects a beam of enough intensity.
Well, I can make like
I would be willing to sacrifice a laser rifle or the carbine.
Well, see, your laser weapons are already doing what they need to do anyways. They're doing full damage.
Yeah, but like you said, if if you want to do something close where you don't want to kill the person, but you want to
if you converted a laser weapon into UV, you probably burn off their entire leg, or they would get prostate cancer.
I mean, we obviously have UV bulbs, right?
Okay.
So you take one of those UV bulbs, you hook it up to a battery, and
get
the power correct.
Yeah, we get a lot of batteries and we put them like in a backpack and string it up, and then maybe I print a UV high beam light thing or whatever, and they just kind of go Ghostbusters with it.
Run a UV light Christmas light string across the entire complex. Dave's not here, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly what we'd end up with. So.
All right, but I mean. Just like a mag light type design, except for it's much bigger and it plugs into the backpack full of batteries, and then you just turn that motherfucker on and.
Well, like I said, I mean, you could put a UV light into one of the headlamps.
Well, once we're on board the ship, I'm gonna slot an electronic comms jack and attempt to reach basically anybody I can on the planet.
Okay.
So
go ahead and make a electronics comms plus intellect or education check.
So yeah, if they got the bulbs that are just going
God
in the helmet,
damn it.
I can just make the flamethrower then, right?
Yep, you can make the flamethrower.
Yes, please.
And who wants to make the mechanics check to fashion UV lights into your suits?
I'll do that.
Okay. So you can make a mechanic plus intellect and education. Somebody else, if you want to, you can assist him, giving him a +1.
I can do that because I have a mechanic one too.
I rolled really poorly with that.
Yep.
Randolph, did you assist me?
Yes.
With a +1?
Yes.
That's great. That's going to give us a 10.
Okay. So between...
Actually, no. Sorry, 11.
Okay. So between the two of you, in the amount of time that it is going to take, Bocephus, how many of these flamethrowers are you making, Bocephus?
I'm gonna make one flamethrower, and then with my chemistry set, I'm going to fashion a magazine and have one 50-shot magazine set up.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna try to do, is make all that.
See here, flamethrower. Yeah, you can do that. So we'll say that that's like 2 hours. In that 2 hours, you guys are able to figure out how you're going to set up these ultraviolet lights in the headlamps, and you're able to get everybody's suit with one of these ultraviolet lights set up into it. So that puts you down to one headlamp. But these, I mean, it's not like these are normal lights. These are the ultra bright LED headlamps. So, I mean, you're probably okay with only one, and the other one is now UV. Sarda, you
Rolled really
failed.
poorly.
You didn't connect to anybody, but you didn't fail bad enough that you didn't get some information. So some of the information that you get back on you basically send out a comms ping, and the one thing that you do realize is that the observation or the observatory is not receiving. The other thing that you realize is that there is a comm 80 clicks out that is receiving, but there's no response.
All right, let's fuel up the ship, and I don't know if it needs to be refined or not. I mean, might as well refine it to play it safe.
It does need to be refined.
Okay, but let's just take the ship to check out these spots, right? I mean,
Can we do that?
There would be nowhere
as long as there's as long as the terrain's not too crazy.
There would be nowhere to land at the observatory.
I guess this thing's kind of a crazy.
I mean, this thing is beefy. It's 1,000 tons.
Yeah,
It's a big ship.
they're really big, and they're not.
They're built like a brick.
Yeah.
It's got a standard hull. So there would be nowhere to land at the observatory. Doing a low. There's not a whole lot on this planet, but the planet did at some point in its distant past have a lot of geological activity, and so there is a lot of rocky terrain. And
we know there's a volcano, for example.
Right, and 80 clicks out. The one thing that you do know is that there was an entire area that was smoothed over by technology that at the time of the first expedition that came here, they don't know how they did it, because at first they thought that it was done by fusion torches, but then they realized that it was done by something much, much more advanced.
Is there a backup vac suit?
So it could be possible if you wanted to fly it out there, you could technically fly it out there and land, but like I said, it's going to be like flying a brick. In other words, because you're in Atmo, you're going to be at -4 to try and fly this thing anywhere effectively and set it down. But you do there's an ATV out there that's plugged in, and there is, of course, Randolph has his Gecko.
Can the Gecko go over that stream?
A Gecko's like a Jeep. It'll go anywhere.
Yeah. it's the other one's got more personnel space.
And it's got a couple of other nifty features, like a little, usually ATVs have like a little camper area. They've got sometimes they have like a little lab. I mean, they're basically the urban assault vehicle from Stripes with armor and sometimes a gun turret.
Yeah, we just need to make sure it's clean. So
yeah,
right.
You have those options available to you. Getting up to the observatory, you would have to locate an air raft.
Yeah, we're gonna need an air raft.
And you know that there were two. One went up to the observatory, so that one's out of the game. But there is another one that took off and headed to the northwest.
And and that's likely the one that's 80 clicks away because we'd already located the Jeep.
Right. Yeah, you located the other motorhome, the ATV.
Right.
But the 80 clicks out, and it's not necessarily coming from an air raft per se. You are detecting that your signal is being picked up by another communicator, by a transceiver, but there is no response.
Right, but I mean, there were 3 vehicles that went in different directions, and so
Correct.
we know where 2 of them went. We don't know where the third one went, but if this is a third location that's 80 clicks away, it's most likely the third missing.
That would be a safe assumption, yes.
So it's probably the other air raft. So we could take one of the ground vehicles out there to the air raft, and then we could take the air raft to the observatory.
I can drive the air raft. Just
yeah, but
that's what I do. I shoot things and I drive it.
Assuming that it's clean.
Well,
Who
who
has the heavy weapon skill?
I do.
Okay, you get the flamethrower because it's a heavy weapon.
I love it when you talk like that.
Does anybody else have energy weapon for gun combat?
No.
No.
No, but yeah, I still shoot one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring one of those laser revolvers with me.
Because all the only reason I ask is that if Jack is going to be packing the flamethrower, which is a heavy weapon, which is no small feat, he's got a laser rifle and a laser carbine that he could loan to somebody.
Yeah, the other thing I was thinking is if I could get somebody to pack the laser rifle, because we might want to use it as an impromptu on the vehicle. Just because it might be good.
Well, we can load all that shit in the vehicle. And
yeah, if you take the ATV, you've got more than enough room.
Yeah, okay.
Because it'll take it will take what, 7 passengers?
Yeah.
Something.
I was just thinking it might serve as a little bit, if you got to shoot a vehicle or something, it might do more than just scratch it.
Unlikely unless you're skillful about where you shoot it.
All right,
but
give me my flamethrower then, damn it.
Yeah, take this flamethrower here. It's shiny. I made it pink just because it's funny that way.
Do we have stats on it?
Yes, it has a 10-meter range, and it does 4D damage.
Did you paint flames in the barrel? It does more damage if you do that.
I did put pink flames on the barrel.
Perfect.
And it's got it's a neon green base color.
It looks like a super soaker.
Yeah. And it does 40 damage. It's got a magazine of 50. It's all you got right now because it's all I was able to make. But when you shoot a place, it has a blast of 5, and it's fire.
So yeah, it will ignite a 5-meter area.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I think this is a good place to break, and we will pick this up next week at 7 o'clock on Friday night. And you guys can think about. Are you going for? Are you going to check out the ATV and maybe take that and then ditch it for the air raft, assuming that you find the air raft? Is that kind of your plan?
Sounds
Yeah.
like a plan.
Once we make certain it's clean, we haven't checked it out yet.
Right.
Yeah, we might have to burn it for a little while.
Light it on fire and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will pick this up next week at 7 o'clock on Friday night.
All right. Cool. That was fun. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Take care.